everybody? That's Church of Eight Wheels. Might as well be my anthem here. That's the song I've been rocking here for years. And, I feel like it sets the right tone. I feel like it lets people know that we're here to have fun. And that's what it's all about. I know I'm here to have fun. I'm Big Cheds, of course. Warm hello and thank you to everybody watching live, watching on replay. Pop right into the chat room. Let me know what you're thinking, how you're feeling. What you'd like me to talk about. I'll of course, cover all the charts, or a lot of the charts, rather. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, altcoins, all that good stuff. But I'm on Twitter at Big Cheds. I'm on Bitcoin Live, where I'm a founding analyst. I've been doing that for 7 years. If you're looking for an exchange, check out BingX, which is my favorite exchange. And folks, if you're in the US, I have a solution for you coming pretty soon. I'll tell you about that pretty soon. So on my YouTube channel, folks, go to the Cheds Trading. Check out this trading encyclopedia. I'm recording videos now. I've got over 100 videos, and these are 3-minute videos designed to teach you complicated professional technical analysis, and I make it simpler for you. So you can kind of look up, the idea is you can look up whatever you want, and I have an explainer video. It's a brand new concept. I'm putting out daily views. It is, of course, daily education trading encyclopedia. Check that out. I've got a recent long-form interview I just did with Follis, who's a great trader, content creator. Check that out. And as you know, or maybe don't know, I have published 4 books. The trading journal's out, so I'm making trading quotes free. And so I've got a whole playlist where I'm basically doing that whole book for free. So check out all the great stuff. I do these live streams twice a week, every Tuesday and Friday. I want to touch base with you folks. I love going live and being able to interact with the community, adding value, and just definitely check out all the videos that I'm making or have made for you. I think you're going to enjoy that stuff. So, Mohammed, what's up, brother? Flamin, Glouch, Influence, nice to see you. Matej, chat room is filling up. It's nice to see you folks for being here. So let's talk a little bit about bit to the coin. Look at this Bollinger pinch here. I just tweeted out. Daily bands are starting to squeeze. What's the difference between a squeeze and a pinch? Essentially the same thing. And the idea is, so we have the Bollinger Bands, which react to 2 standard deviations of volatility away from the middle band. And essentially, when you're sideways like this, they get really tight. And then you have a Bollinger Pinch or a Bollinger Squeeze. This tells us that this consolidation is going to be over pretty soon, and we should expect a volatile move coming out of it. So you can look at things, there's an indicator called like Bollinger Band width percentage. You can kind of track it that way. You can visually track it, just as I am here. So how do we put this into perspective, right? Well, we know that we're consolidating because of the weekly picture. And the weekly picture has been very straightforward. It's kind of told us when we're advancing, it's told us when we're consolidating. So it's been, instructive in my view. Strong advance, multi-week consolidation, quick advance, and likely shorter-term consolidation. The clues, though, have been the inside bar and then this spinning top, both suggesting, consolidation to come. So there's a video I haven't made yet, but I'm going to make soon, and it's a classical charting concept. Matej, I have a video. Matej says, can you show a good example of double inside bar break trading idea? I have that in the Trading Journal book, and I'm doing a video on that, but I don't know, like this minute, I could come up with it. Essentially, though, say you have a drop down, and then you have the mother bar, Matej, inside bar. It's a double inside. And so aggressively, you could then, so you form 2 inside bars. Aggressively, you could take a break, from this last inside bar. I like waiting for the inside bar, the initial inside bar here. So in theory, you would take a long on this first inside bar, and your stop loss would be down there. And that's just the double inside bar break. I'll do a video on it later. But the point I wanted to make in classical charting, the length of the advance prior to the consolidation is suggestive of the amount of time that you're going to be spending in consolidation. So longer consolidation after longer advance, brief advance, probably a brief consolidation. So what that means is I think we're going to resolve out of this range, rather quickly. And we're getting close to it in the daily chart, is along, lines up with that, right, with these Bollingers pinching. What's interesting is the volume on the daily. And this volume and this candle bar can be explained by dropping to the 4-hour and observing the price drop into support. Here, what's notable on this volume cluster, it marked a very important short-term bottom. I did put out a tweet at the time and said, hey, there's a volume cluster, which is Here you go. Boom. Big volume cluster forming 116.5. When you see this type of volume, you really want to pay attention. I literally did a video on this concept for the Trading Encyclopedia. That video came out just a couple days ago. Just search for it. Volume cluster index. Here you go. So watch this video. It basically explains what I'm explaining to you now about the idea of volume at tops and bottoms and short-term, momentum pivot. So this volume was a momentum pivot on essentially the loss and recapture of 116K. So we see some interesting 4H action above the rising MA200, aka uptrend, and on the daily chart, Bollingers are pinching with a reasonably well-defined daily range low, circa 116K, and essentially a gap in price, fair gap, value gap, whatever you want to call it, in between 116K and roughly that 111K zone. We'll call it, for simpler purposes, we'll call it the 111K zone. So that's what we're looking at on a Bitcoin. You don't need to do too much fancy analysis. Can it hold 116K or not? Your overhead level, a little bit trickier. I think you're probably going to want to use a 121K as an overhead level. Certainly an option for you. I'd personally like to buy the dip at this point if I'm taking a new position. Given the consolidation and the propensity of Bitcoin to give you nice, dips, nice throwbacks. Ethereum has been charging forward. I'm going to get to the chat room in a second. It's been charging forward, heading up to that big picture or high time frame, 3,900 4K breakout level. Will it pause and consolidate here? Probably. Probably doesn't quite just straight up breakout. Do we get a throwback to 3K range? Do we get a throwback to, minor structure around 3,500? You kind of watch and wait and see. You'd like to buy a dip, certainly. Again, it's logical for charts for prices to pause and consolidate and then attempt to stair step. So kind of watching that. We're flirting with a big signal on Ethereum versus Bitcoin in terms of reversing the anemic performance versus Bitcoin. Big sharp V reversal. Flirting with major recapture, SMA 50 and 0.032 levels. Still right there. Still price interaction with the key level. That's kind of just the gist of what I wanted to talk about. And Solana too, looking like it's throwing back roughly to the 180, 185 range. You can see here on the weekly chart, it kind of cleans up the picture a little bit for you. All right, let's get in the chat. You're a great group. Thanks for being here. These are this twice a week, live updates. Folks, you got to watch the Trading Encyclopedia. It's on my YouTube. 3 minutes. Learn. Professional TA, 3 minutes a day. Check out this playlist. All right, Abdul. What's up, Abdul? Nice to see you. Matej, Galush. All right, couple requests. So, let's see. Sui was requested. I'm happy to take a look at Sui for you. What's going on with Sui? So, looking here, I can already see it failed to hold where I wanted to see an initial hold right around $4. I'll zoom back in to the daily chart, and generally the idea is, once you break resistance, you want to see it hold on a throwback. So now it's drifting back towards support. You've got support around 350. You've got some support or demand right around $3. This looks to be drifting back towards demand right around 350. Decora for your request on Sui. Let's see if there's other questions, folks. I want to bounce around to the chat room. And also check out, for those who are listening, let me know if you saw the new interview I did with Follis. If you liked it, let me know who else you'd like me to talk to. I've got some more interviews lined up coming out pretty soon. You want ENA and XRP, Mohammed? Sure. XRP. All right. Daily chart is consolidating a little bit. It's kind of catching its breath. It really did a new all-time high breakout, which is impressive. Let's go to the weekly chart and make sure we're right about that. And we are right about that. Now, generally speaking, you're going to want to see, now this is weekly picture, big time frame, right? You're going to want to see it hold, roughly this area, which is all the way down to $2, okay? That's just a general trend markup. Now, from a trading perspective, you can't quite use that because that's 50% lower than here. So zooming in, we see there is local demand, right? Where resistance has been turned into support. There was a test of this range and the price respected that test. So you should continue to watch this level until proven otherwise. The price, Muhammad, is telling us to watch that level. ENA, I saw this all over the timeline. Let's take a look. All right. Still in primary uptrend mode, essentially price versus EMA 8. I have a video on that for the Trading Encyclopedia. Essentially a double bottom with a higher low, well above the peak. This certainly has relative strength to much of the rest of the market. Many other altcoins are essentially in this type of a situation, but they haven't even broken out yet, haven't even tried to, or they're right at the neck baseline. There's certainly some relative strength here. Got major overhead resistance around 80 cents. Be patient with it while it consolidates and rides the EMA 8. What are the chances that we have topped, said Galush. I mean, what, on Bitcoin? I mean, there's just no evidence of that. There's no way to call it top. And what do you mean top? We just had the highest we just had the highest close in history 2 days ago. It's like that's like the raw. I don't understand the question. What are the chances we top? We literally just had the highest weekly close in history 2 days ago. So why are you looking for a top? You should be looking for a dip. The chances we've topped are very low. So far, there's no evidence of a top. Literally, in fact, there's like exact opposite evidence, right? So Galush, we literally just had the second highest weekly close in history. It's strange to me to be thinking, what are the chances we just topped? I mean, I don't get that, to be honest. Dimitri says, it's great to have this live. Thanks, man. How are you, Cheds? How are you, brother? Isalik, can you look at virtuals? Sure. Thank you, folks. Everyone watching and replay too. You can try to catch me here Tuesday, Friday. I might have to skip this Friday. That's the thing. These videos are extra. They're fun. You know, Bitcoin Live is what you can count on. I never skip those, but these I might have to skip here and there. So virtuals, yeah, not a ton of history is my issue with a chart like this. I am on the weekly chart. We'll drop back to the daily and get a sense. Okay, Well, it's definitely got the lower high from this high here. And we have this sharp reversal. And generally, you want to see this level hold. You see, this is more or less the peak of this V bottom. And it held here on a throwback. It held here on a throwback. So it's pretty clear for virtuals. It needs to hold around $1.30. If that fails, it's going way lower. Much lower. So this is an absolutely critical level to watch. It's got that kind of drooping bottom type look. Where it's kind of getting ready to roll over. Let's see, everybody. Influence, what's up, man? I'm doing well, thank you. We talked about Batage's question. We did that. We talked about Sui. So what is the difference between using Bollinger Bands and Bollinger Band with percentage? It's a great call. Well, essentially, you can use the Bollinger Bands without the with percentage because you can just visualize it, right? So you know that it has this, you can just see there's a much smaller width here than here, right? And here is a much smaller width than here, right? For example. So the width percentage, I'll show it to you. Bollinger Band, let's go to technicals. Bollinger Band percentage. It's bandwidth too, but percentage. It just shows you, right? So tighter, they've been tighter before. Let's see, Bollinger Band with percentage. They've been tighter here. Okay. Actually, this is the wrong one. Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. Let's go back to Bollinger Band width. I think this is what I'm looking for. Here we go. So these are tight. It's the tightest since here, since back here. They were very tight, right? The last squeeze we had, when the Bollingers were this tight, was all the way back in February, right, of 2025. Now, it doesn't always tell you exactly where it's going to go, right? There's a bunch of stuff with Bollinger Band. Breaches like this, pinches, oftentimes the first move is a fake out. You get a quick dip and go. I'd say if you're betting, you're going to bet it's going to continue with the trend. But the band squeeze just suggests we're about to get some volatility. In terms of the directionality where it's probably going to break, your best bet is going to be with the trend, okay? Zenzina says, thanks. You're welcome. Decoria says, thanks. You are welcome. Can we look at XAI or Jasmine? Let's take a look at Jasmine. I haven't looked at this one in a while. Folks, I haven't heard any comments in the chat on the Trading Encyclopedia. Does that mean you folks haven't watched it? Right? There's like a third of my viewers only do live, a third only do videos, and the other third like do both. For the live only, you're gonna dig. You're gonna love this playlist. It's binge watchable. Watch this playlist and give me your feedback and let me know what videos you want me to cover. Jasmine. Let's take a look at Jasmine. Yeah, not a great looking chart. This is an underperformer. If Jasmine bounces a little bit higher, you can actually take a short. This would be a short setup. Why? It's a downtrend and a bounce into resistance on a downtrend. This is a way underperformer. We just looked at ENA. And remember, ENA was way up here, back up above the key momentum breakout level. And again, any short, you would abandon the short if the price can break like the 0215 area. So this is a weak chart. I don't like it. I wouldn't want to be in it. Memory of Talent says, I found you through the encyclopedia and love them. Thank you. What do you mean? So how did you find the encyclopedia? Was it just suggested by YouTube, or how did you find it, Memory? Thanks for saying that. That's wonderful feedback. Wonderful feedback. Will I look at Open Door? Yes, absolutely. After you compliment me like that, I'll definitely look at Open Door for you. That's very nice. Open Door on NASDAQ. I'll look at equity stuff too while I'm here. Folks, I don't mind. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So what do we have here? Two-level filter break. We have what's called the descending supply trend break. And you kind of see a more, almost like a more aggressive series, drooping bottom, really. It's a more aggressive series of price drops here, leading to this sharp reversal and volume. So clearly, this chart is trying to turn around. I do want to go to the weekly, though, to get a better perspective. So what's significant about the weekly is that it's a downtrend. It's priced below a falling MA200. And what's also significant is the major overhead level here. These lows, it's the polarity principle of polarity. Oh, you found me through browsing shorts. Awesome. Great memory, great feedback. Here's the support. It was turned into resistance. This is the principle of polarity. I have a video on it in the Trading Encyclopedia. Of course, it's resistance. It's affirmed as resistance again. So in theory, this would have been a potential short if you're looking for a short setup, because it is a bounce in a downtrend, okay? That being said, if price can clear 480, that's a big time, long-term buy signal. In the meantime, you have volume and some evidence of accumulation on lower time frames, certainly. For now, as the price is cooling off, your initial level, you would have wanted to see it holds around 250. But for now, you're going to have to shift back to these lows right around 165, 170, okay? June says, how do you manage your long position in the face of a Bollinger Band pinch? Well, it has nothing to do. If you already have a position, your position is based on your, great question, Junes. Your long position is based on your trading idea. It has nothing to do with the Bollinger Band pinch. Either the price holds support or it doesn't. So whatever your long trading idea was, make sure it's defined well. And if it's defined well, then you can know when it fails. So like this Bollinger pinch doesn't change your plan. You may get volatility from it that may test you. It may chop through your stop loss level. And you would have to decide based on low time frame action as the price is near that level what you're going to do, okay? SPX 6900, the meme coin. There's not much to say other than it's just a beautiful breakout on high time frame. It's grinding higher. We'll observe that these MA50 tests have been rewarded should you get another one. It looks really good. There's no warning signs whatsoever on this chart. It's one of the better altcoin looking charts. SPX looks really good. I like the approach of the encyclopedia because of the 3-minute videos. Yeah, it's the whole idea where you should be able to explain a concept in 3 minutes. It doesn't mean I'm not going to miss stuff. I'm going to end up doing probably 365 topics, and then I'll redo them every year, and I'll get better, and you'll be able to look at, you know, at least 2 videos in the same topic. But what's an uptrend? What's accumulation? How to draw a trend line? You know, what's a pin bar? What's a pullback? What's a double bottom? These are important concepts. I've literally read the textbooks, so you don't have to. I went through CMT. I'm professionally trained, and I created that playlist just for you. I've already so you asked for recommendations for interviews. How about Fibbo Swanee? I think I've already interviewed Fibbo Swanee. Let me just double check. Did I not? You're right. I'll get Fibbo Swanee in there. I've done collaborations with Fibbo Swanee many times. I should get him on for the long form interview series. Bilal, what's up, my man? Bilal with the super chat. Thanks, brother. He says, Bilal says, and Bilal is super generous. He says, I've honestly learned more from your daily encyclopedia than Bitcoin Live. Really? Well, I need to step it up at Bitcoin Live because you hear from me twice a week. You get the full market report. You're telling me you've learned even more from the encyclopedia. I must be doing something right in the encyclopedia. But man, I'm going to have to step up my game at Bitcoin Live, Bilal. I love this idea of the encyclopedia. I've already pre-recorded videos through October at this point. Like when I'm into it, I'm a dog with a bone, with a bone with a project, and I've got a whole bunch of really great topics. I'm excited for them to come out. So thanks, Bilal. You're so kind, man. I really appreciate you. Uh, you're so long. Okay, Azu, what's up, Azu? And Bilal, thank you again, brother. Azu says, can you chart Rune? Sure. He says, you're so long. Well, what does that mean? It sounds to me like you're panicking. It sounds to me like you're not confident in your trading idea, and that's not good. But let me tell you exactly what I think about Rune right now. Oh, this is bad. Why are you long in this chart? Azu, what are you talking about? Why are you long in this chart? This is a terrible chart. This is terrible. And look, folks, when you ask me to look at a chart, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is hot garbage. This is a downtrend. Like your whole point, you want to ride uptrends. This is a terrible chart. I would just sell and move on. You're so long. I would immediately sell and, this is what I would do. Because whatever trading long idea I had has to have failed. This is a horrible chart. Move on. It's a bad chart. Sell and delete from the watch list. Azu, this is terrible. Terrible, terrible chart. What do I think about comp? Okay. And folks, I'm only going to give you my honest opinion. That's a bad chart. And look, if you think you're stuck, you're never stuck. You're simply refusing to move on from a failed idea. So this is at least an uptrend. The price has regained the MA200, and you essentially have a bullish break from a bear consolidation here. You essentially have, a bear flag, a bull break from a bear flag, recapture of support. That is good. I do want to look in the weekly time frame so I can get a little bit better view. Okay. So I've identified rising demand, which is important, and it's a little bit muddled on the weekly, but at least it's back above these key lows, dropping back to the daily chart. So it's got some work to do, but you have you're brewing or setting up for a 2-level filter break here, where essentially you have the descending supply trend break, and then I'd say a break of like 8 would be the lower high break. I do have a video on this concept in the Trading Encyclopedia, like Bitcoin 88 2-level filter breakout. This is a really good video for you to watch to understand what a 2-level filter breakout is. It essentially allows you to know when a trend is turned around. It gives you a way to define your risks. You're not just buying a bottom, rather you're riding trend, you're riding momentum. Okay, we talked about comp. Fiboswani is a good one. I will make a note. I'm going to make a note right now so I don't forget, right? Folks, sorry to make you do this live. Let me just make a quick note. I have a big list of people. Fiboswani. He's a good dude. Smart guy. All right, let's continue on. I've talked to him for a while. I did a bunch of your analysis. Please take a look at Bonk. Sure. What's up, Daniel? How you doing, Daniel? How's everybody doing? It's a beautiful day. It's Tuesday. I hope everybody's chilling and doing well and warm. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending some time with me. You could be doing anything else. I guess most of you are probably on your phone. Bonk, yeah. I mean, Bonk had the clear double bottom breakout. Now it's paused to consolidate. Now you are flirting with an initial bear break of bullish consolidation, okay? Why is it bullish consolidation? Well, it's a price advance. It's consolidation after an advance. It's bullish consolidation. Pretty well-defined range lows. Now that we're starting to lose this, though, you'd have to think it's probably dropping back to the 25 area roughly. So you would have wanted to see it hold here. It's cooling off a little bit and then setting up to give you some type of a throwback or a bullish retest long thesis on a retest of the peak of this rather well-defined double bottom range. So my thoughts on Bonk real quick. Who is Mercury? Mercury would be a good trader to set up for an interview. Who is Mercury Sniff? I'm not familiar with that individual. Azu said, thanks for being honest. You're more than welcome, brother. Cheds, you were talking about a guy named Charts Van Dam. I don't know who that is. Oh, you're referring to, okay, that was probably auto-correct. It's Chartman Dan. He's at Chart Guys, and it's Chart Guys. Like, if you go back, it's actually a featured channel on my page. Like, if you go to my page, it's like under like featured channels, the Chart Guys. So not Chart Van Dam, it's Chartman Dan, who's like top tier. Highly, highly recommend. Asan says, I really started learning from your encyclopedia. Precise videos are better. You're welcome. Thanks, man. I appreciate the feedback. You want me to look at BNB? I mean, BNB is just an absolute stud. I've been talking about BNB. I've been quite bullish on it for a long time because the price has been bullish. I mean, that's not like a special skill it's not like a great skill. You're bragging I've been bullish on this chart. It's mega bullish, right? Beautiful high time frame breakout. When BNB is doing well, it generally means that altcoins are doing well. So I like to see this continuing. I would absolutely buy some type of a throwback in the 680 range, any type of a retest of this structure if it cools off, but you don't want to anticipate it cooling off. Right now, it's just very simply riding EMA 8, aka primary uptrend support. Big Stats says, I'm learning a lot from you, Bitcoin Live, and it's changed my trading completely. Thanks, man. You guys are so nice. You guys are so nice. I love the feedback. Let's see here. All right, I'll do one or two more because this has been a nice little group. Let's do GRT. We'll check out the graph. It's the graph. Okay. All right, GRT. Yeah, not great. So this is weak. It's weak compared to the rest of the market, right? We just looked at a whole bunch of other stuff, which is well above the peak of the W. Here you have a W. It's not even close to the peak. It's down here. It's not testing the neck base, testing the peak rather. It's not testing the breakout level. It's not up here consolidating. It's not doing what Bonk is doing, maybe coming back and throwing back. It's all the way down here in a downtrend. It's a downtrend. Avoid it. Don't touch it. If it bounces, look for a short. If it bounces into this 12.5 range, look for a short. Obviously, manage your risk nearby. Why take a short? It's a downtrend, right? You want to take advantage of moves against the trend. This is a move against the trend. It's weak relative to the rest of the market. I don't know who Lieutenant Ponzi is, Influence. Hit me up on Twitter and try to tag them so I can maybe reach out to them. Folks, I have a lot of stuff going on. As you know, I have published 4 books. And I like to make, when I have a new book, I like to make my last book free. So on my YouTube, I'm recording every single week. I just put out week 16 and 17 yesterday. I'm going to do the entire book. I'm also essentially making the trading journal free because I'm going to record basically the whole book in parts for the trading encyclopedia. I'm also making trading wisdom free. I'm making 3-minute videos on